In this video, I'll discuss a case of a patient suffering from morning sickness during pregnancy. Morning sickness is a very common problem during pregnancy, particularly in the beginning of the pregnancy. Usually, it responds very well to acupuncture, and with a couple of treatments using just PC6, generally we can solve the problem. This patient, although, was a very different and very difficult case. It was her second month of pregnancy, and she was having a huge problem with nausea and morning sickness, to the point where she almost had to be admitted to the hospital because she was losing weight instead of gaining weight with the pregnancy. In the first session, I tried using just bilateral PC6. She improved during the session, but in a couple of hours the symptoms came back. So I decided to use a more complex treatment. In this treatment, I use a mixture of Master Tung acupuncture and traditional points. The points I used were 8801, 02, and 8803. I used the 3 yellows, and I used stomach 36. I also used PC6 and Lingu or 2205. I used the points bilaterally, and this was the full treatment. My reasoning was, first, the feeling of nausea normally is a reversal of the stomach movement, so I used stomach 36 to regulate this movement. I used 8801, 2 and 3 because they are a good representation of the epigastric region, and also the 3 yellows because a lot of nausea is wound offending stomach, so the 3 yellows will control the liver and regulate this problem. Also, PC6 obviously because it's the most recommended point for nausea, and Lingu because it will regulate the qi flow and also regulate stomach. In the selection of the points, you can see stomach 36, which is a point that a lot of times some colleagues are afraid to use in pregnancy, and also Lingu might raise some problems because it's so near to large intestine 4, which is another of the points that are not advised to use in pregnancy. These points are safe to use as long as you don't do strong stimulation, meaning I will just use a thin needle, I'll place the needle in, and I won't do manual stimulation, I won't do electrical stimulation, I won't even use moxa on these points. From my experience, and from courses I've done with some of the leading experts in acupuncture for pregnancy, these points are safe to use as long as you don't overstimulate them. So this was the treatment I did for the patient. She felt much better afterwards. In fact, she told me she was feeling hungry by the end of the session, which was something she didn't feel for a long time. But the morning sickness started to come back again after 4-5 days after the session, so we did 1 session a week for the next 2 months, and then the symptoms just went away as the pregnancy progressed. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow and makes sure that you will see the videos in first hand.